Alright guys, I am on vacation, but it is time for the news. We've got the juicy Datamined. Are you ready for this? I'm ready. Let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
What's up, Valley Bros? ValleyFlyin here. I am back, joined by my partner in crime, Khasino, because it is time for the news. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
Doing good. What's going on?
Woo, we got a lot going on since the last time we talked. We have a new meta in the game right now. We got some data mines. We got some talk of skins potentially coming to the game, mods potentially coming to the game. We got a lot more. As usual, guys, this is probably going to be a long one, so there are going to be timestamps in the description. And as you probably noticed, there's no video on this for myself and Khasino. I am still out of town, but we could not let the news go untalked about, so we are here. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm always game. Let's go.
Okay, all right. Phoenix arrived in the game, and what are your thoughts on that? The event was fun. We got a new meta because of her.
Absolutely.
I'll let you start off. There's a lot to talk about with Phoenix here.
There is, but really it boils down to one question, which several people have been asking, is does Phoenix live up to the hype? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
She does. She's awesome.
She does.
I got her at 7-star, and we'll talk about her event, but it was pretty interesting. I got Fox nexted a little bit on that one.
Uh-oh.
But we'll talk about it. But been using her, and she's super powerful. Just a little tidbit about the X-Men team. Firstly, been using them in war, and I've been seeing punch-ups anywhere between 100k and 150k punch-ups in war. Yeah, they're the real deal. And some people have been asking, if I don't have Ultron, but I do have Phoenix, how will I do in Arena? The full X-Men team can beat Ultron teams. I've done it without Ultron.
I've seen it, and yeah, if your X-Men is good, you'll beat pretty much whatever team on Arena. If your X-Men is good enough, they punch up as well. So that's the only question. How much will they punch up
now,
in Arena
shard,
against
course,
Ultron?
On our shard, of course, we have people with Phoenix and Ultron on defense.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And if you guys don't know, we are in the same shard. We've been in the same shard for a while, so we see the same things in Arena. But yeah, X-Men, they lived up to the hype. Big thumbs up for me. They lived up to the hype that Fox Next was giving them.
Yeah, and not only that, but we don't have Cyclops yet, and he's really going to take that team to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
And now, as soon as I say that, there's people wondering, do we know when we're getting Cyclops? What's the latest on Cyclops? How's he going to be released? We don't know when. We don't know how. We don't know what they're waiting for. But he's coming eventually, and he looks awesome. So just throwing that out there. The X-Men team's going to get even crazier.
Quick side note, replacing Wolverine in that team?
Probably. But so I've actually already been running a bunch of hybrids. So one of our talking points here in just a bit is going to be talking about the X-Men meta. So Wolverine's not even on my team at this point.
Ooh, all right. We're going to get to that. Let's talk about this event first, because this was supposed to be the hardest event ever. The hardest legendary event ever. The hardest legendary unlock from the lowest teams that we've been seeing. Doesn't seem the case. And you've seen some pretty low teams finish this at 6 and 7-star, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. If I'm not mistaken, the lowest team we saw do it for 6-star was 94k.
Woo.
Yeah.
That is low.
And I believe the lowest team that we saw for 7-star was like 158k.
148, I think.
Was it 148? Something like that.
Yeah, it's very low. Very low.
Very low. I was at 210k, and I was like, am I going to make it? And there were people at 200. A guy messaged me at 245k and was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And yeah, we just straight up got Fox nexted on that one.
Well, I'll put on my tinfoil hat real quick. Do you think that was in response to people being upset that it was a 6-star unlock? They made it a little easier?
Nope.
All right, next tinfoil hat question. Do you think that is a result of this Blitz bug being found out?
Nope. Because the Blitz bug would only serve to make it tougher, but by default, they have to assume that most people who did it, it would not be tougher, so to speak.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe the other events were harder because of that bug. Is kind of where I was. Where I was going with that.
Well, this bug was still in place. at the time. I don't think it got fixed until super recently. So it was in place for that. So
well, so people resetting their game, because I know I reset the game, did a fresh thing when I did mine. So that's
I hear you. I'll tell you what I think it is. They always say, like, their suggested power level is always much higher than you need. That's an established thing that they do.
Yeah.
However, normally we just wave it off and are like, yeah, whatever. Like, they always say it needs to be tougher. The one reason we bought into it this time is we were like, well, they definitely gave this one special attention because they made it a 6-star unlock.
Yeah.
So we thought, if they're changing stuff, like, it just fit with their narrative of making Phoenix tougher to get. So we thought maybe they were serious. Maybe they actually made this one tougher. No.
They did.
No, but they did trick me into spending some extra cores gearing up my X-Men. So.
I think that was their plan all along. Have you spend the gear before the event comes out.
I'm sure it was. That's always their plan. Normally I'm smarter than to fall for it. This time completely fell for it.
Well, so you don't need to do some crazy gear to unlock Phoenix if you are still trying to unlock her or are going to unlock her the next time she comes around. But we talked a little bit about the X-Men meta earlier, but let's get a little bit more specifics. What are you seeing in the meta right now as far as X-Men? I know you said you've already replaced Wolverine and got some interesting combos there that you've tested out.
Definitely. Well, so the interesting thing is the X-Men team, quote unquote, there's really only 2 irreplaceable members of the team, and that's Phoenix and Colossus. If you have Phoenix and Colossus, you have an X-Men hybrid team, and you don't need any additional X-Men. Sometimes I run Psylocke, but I also always run Ultron. Obviously, for the people listening who don't have Ultron, which is going to be most people, then they'll have 3 spots free. But my core 3 are Colossus, Phoenix, and Ultron. And then the other 2 spots, sometimes I've got Vision, sometimes I've got Star-Lord, sometimes I've got Captain Marvel, sometimes I've got Psylocke. It just depends. The beauty of Arena is I get to see who I'm attacking into.
Yeah.
So I don't run it, but I've seen people running Phoenix Colossus with Magneto Juggernaut, Magneto Pyro. So
I've been using that Magneto Juggernaut Colossus on defense, and my Colossus is not that scary, so it doesn't hold. But yeah, those Colossuses are tough, man. They are way tougher to dispel than the Juggernauts, and I've been running into problems with that.
Yep. Now I will also say Phoenix and especially Psylocke do a really good job of completely invalidating Magneto these days.
Yeah.
But before Phoenix was out, I did get a chance to try Rhino in the arena, and Rhino is every bit as good as we hoped in terms of hard countering Magneto.
Ooh.
Like, you just if all you have to do is put Rhino on the team, and then Magneto wastes his turn 1.
Now, I know his event is going on right now, and we're going to get to that. As far as the meta, though, what star level or gold star level do you think Rhino would need to be to make him viable in a late game arena shard?
Which character?
Or Rhino, in particular.
Well, again, I think he's kind of counterpick, right? I think if you use him into Magneto, he just has to survive the Magneto ult on turn 1. So probably a 1-star Rhino with that.
Okay.
Seriously.
Nice. I look forward to testing that out.
He wastes Magneto's ultimate. It's terrific. It's super useful. Again, if you have Phoenix and Psylocke, you can do the same thing, but literally, he clumps everyone together, he applies all the blinds, and then Rhino immediately takes all the blinds off.
I love it.
It's great. So there's some Rhino in there. I'm also seeing, I'm just looking over there, I'm seeing some Fury, some Minerva, but really, the core 2 of the X-Men are Phoenix, Colossus, and then everyone at the top of our arena shard, it's Phoenix, Colossus, Ultron.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 spots, I've tried so many combinations. I beat the rank 1 team subbing in for the remaining 2 spots, Psylocke and Scientist Supreme. Like, you can actually get away. I put my 3-star Rhino in. I was able to beat teams in the top 10. It's those 3 do enough work, but the other 2 spots are a bit variable. And so at this very moment, my offense team is the Ultron, Colossus, Phoenix with Psylocke and Captain Marvel. Okay. And then my defense is Phoenix, Colossus, Ultron with Star-Lord feeding energy to Phoenix and shield security just further distracting from Ultron.
Nice. Yeah, you got a real strong shield security that has been in your defense for a while. So, yeah, it's nice that the meta is shifting around and a lot of interesting combos. And I like that there's a lot of combos you can test these teams out and with on offense with a lot of different defense setups that you're attacking. So
definitely. We're seeing a lot of mix and match, and a lot of people have been asking me what I was waiting for to put out the top 5 teams tier list graphic, and we were having a lot of trouble figuring out like what the best X-Men hybrid is going to be, and I think we were right to wait because it looks like people are still, it's just kind of up in the air. It looks like there's just a lot of options, and while you have some characters like again mainly Colossus and Phoenix that you have to include. Beyond that, you can kind of work with like, well, if you have high red stars on this character, you can use them instead. So it's actually a very variable arena meta right now. I like it. Yeah,
it doesn't seem like there's one true team that dominates everything. You kind of gotta play your offense based on what you're seeing on defense, and exactly. I like that. You gotta think a little. You can't just go and auto this meta right now.
So interesting developments in the meta, but overall I'm happy with it.
I like the position it's in. I'm also very happy with it. Moving on to more happiness, Heatwave Milestones. I was very happy with this. It was fun. It is almost exactly like the green milestone that we got months back. The orb was nice. Got some nice pulls. They were easy and made this Daredevil Blitz that we had this past weekend fun. What are your thoughts on these Heatwave Milestones and these Heatwave Orbs that we got?
I think you nailed it. I think they were perfectly achievable, which is nice. But you had to put in a little bit of work to get them, but they were reasonably obtainable for just about anyone. The rewards are really good. And yeah, it was just extra cheddar on top for doing Blitz, especially a Blitz that I ended up doing more than I normally would for a Blitz I didn't really care about. There was really only one downside to the Heatwave Milestones, and that's that they completely ruined our Blitz predictions.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention the save squads because I had to totally change around all my save squad teams for this milestone and then change them back afterwards. But
no, I just had one team. No, there was one team worth 1,100 points, so I just kept using that one team.
I made 4 teams and put all of the characters in those teams and then made one team that I could lose with and then drop back down to tier 1. So that's how I worked it. It was fun. I had fun with it. It was fun. I liked it. So I hope they do this more often.
I think incentivizing people to stay in tier 1 is a weird. I don't think that was what they intended. I don't either. Most of the characters on a sure to win team. There were literally only 2 of the characters of all of them that I didn't have on a sure to win team. Okay. So I just ran through my teams as normal, and each one got used.
Yeah, for me, I didn't want to play. I just wanted to auto it. That's why I stayed at tier 1.
Well, the beauty is the 1,100 power team could auto. It was just a broken team that had Phoenix, Magneto, Carnage.
Iron Man,
Ultron or something. I have to check, but it was
I don't think Ultron was a 250, but he was in that group that scored a bunch of points as well.
So I think I just threw him on as the 5th, and then it was easy auto.
Yeah, it was a nice team. It was fun. I liked it. All right, we got another Blitz going on right now. Ant-Man Blitz. Now, during the week, we've had a lot of unlocked characters the past 4 weeks or so. Yeah. Am I missing that? We got Ant-Man this week, and we also have done some data mines that makes it seem like these weekday Blitz release characters are done. You want to talk about what you've seen in the data mines?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've seen, and keep in mind, obviously, anything from the data mines is subject to change, but according to the data mines, Shocker is coming to Blitz July 11th, and then also July 18th, and both of those are Thursdays.
Nice. And that is not this week, so it's another break if you don't really want to go for new characters, or if you don't really want to push hard for new characters. So I like that there's a little break in Blitz.
Yep, looks like they're back to featured character blitzes on Thursdays, which is nice. Now, I will say I see a lot of people complain when there's a blitz like what we're doing now, like an Ant-Man blitz. And I always try to remind people, you're not going to be excited about every single blitz. But if you were excited about every single Blitz, you'd have to play Blitz all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I like these breaks with Ant-Man and the
Right.
Daredevils.
I'm so
I
excited.
like not having to do this or feel like I have to do it.
Right, like I enjoy going super hard on a new character, but I don't want to do that every single day. I want to take some time, have time to actually make videos and not be playing Blitz, save up Blitz charges so that I can really go hard in the paint for a character I want. And another thing to remember is every character helps if you don't have them at 7-star. It's still good to get those shards. Like, people forget, like, even Ant-Man, and I know he's easy to farm and you can get him anyway. Like, obviously he's not my first choice, but he's one where if you skip the Blitz, took it easy, score kind of low, it doesn't hurt you that much. But if you do decide to put in the effort, like they had the Ant-Man and Wasp team-up event, and if I'm not mistaken, the last stage of that gave like 250 T4 mats or something. So
Ooh, I don't remember that, but that sounds correct. But yeah, I totally agree. That's Ant-Man's not the worst character. New players can get him, and older players don't have to go hard. So I like that. But there's some other things that went on as this Blitz happened that made me happy that I didn't have to push on Blitz as well. We're going to talk about that in a little, but there was something else Datamined as far as a Blitz character.
Yes, there was. So there's also a Datamined that suggests there's no date attached to it, but there's a Datamined suggesting Mysterio has a Blitz coming out.
So this would suggest the answer to many people's question: is Mysterio going to be a legendary? And this Datamined would suggest no.
Probably not. I mean, we looked at his kit and we're like, probably not. And they literally just had Phoenix, so they normally do one legendary like every 3 months. So this would be really, really soon for another one. And he's just not that popular of a character in the overall scheme of things to be a legendary. Now I know you could point to like, well,
Shuri. I was
right, yeah, there it is. But again, with Shuri, I think they wanted Black Panther to be a bigger deal, and they just had already put Black Panther in.
Yeah.
And you know, so many people already had him, they couldn't then make him a legendary. Whereas I could see, and again, we talked about this last week, there's absolutely no evidence to suggest this whatsoever, but I would think it would make a lot more sense if we eventually get Doc Ock, who would be a perfect legendary because he's the actual leader of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, I mean, that makes so much sense. Nothing confirmed, but that logically that doesn't make sense, right? To have him as a legendary character for the Sinister Six. So
Yep, sooner or later, hopefully.
Yes. We will have to see what comes up with all that. But like I said, with that Ant-Man Blitz, we got a lot of other stuff. One of the things that came back as that Ant-Man Blitz was returning was the Gamma Raids. They returned. We got a new Gamma Orb for that. So what are your thoughts on this raid itself returning? And then I guess we'll go into this orb, because for some people it's really good. Other people it's whatever.
Yep. I mean, so, as always, so the first thing is, it's very clear FoxX likes changing things all the time, right? Their philosophy is like, well, we can always change it back. So they're just always like, oh, let's move it a little to the left, move it a little to the right. They're just always tinkering with stuff to see what affects the numbers. They really like testing stuff in real time. So they make lots of changes, and the normal human response to change, people never like change. As soon as they get familiar with something, it gets changed, and people just aren't designed to like change. They're just always distrustful of anything different.
Yeah.
So, and people assume that FoxX is always just looking for what maximizes the profits, so they just always feel like any change is designed to work against them. But anyway, so and to a small degree that's true. So like they retuned the boss nodes on Gamma Raid, the boss and the mini boss nodes. Now they are much tougher, and so I've heard people saying like the raid feels easier, but the bosses and the mini bosses feel tougher. So the reason the raid feels easier is you're stronger than you were last time you did Gamma, and they didn't change.
Yes.
The reason that the bosses and the mini bosses get retuned is it's been a pretty established thing. Every time a specialty raid has come around recently, they've changed the bosses and the mini bosses to update it for where people should be at. So, you know, on the one hand, it'd be nice if they kept it where it was, but we keep getting stronger. So if they don't make that stronger, then it just becomes like I just put on autoplay. It just becomes a chore. So I think there are other ways to do it, but I don't mind the tougher mini bosses. I like a challenge.
How have you been faring against these mini bosses?
So far, so good. So we actually just started our first one, and
Okay.
I haven't had any trouble so far, but I only did like the first half of my lane.
Oh,
So
wait till the end. They're tough. They're tough.
I'm looking forward to it. But my Wakandan team is hopefully up for the challenge. So
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard the
shall
Wakandan
see.
lane, if you have a Wakanda team, is very strong. The ones at the end with the X-Men and Brotherhood, they suck. Because those aren't raid teams.
right, yeah, you don't get much.
Those are horrible.
We'll see. But my Brotherhood and my X-Men teams are very strong, so at least they'll do all right on the one node. But yeah, we'll see. And then so the Orb, there's been a lot of debate about the Orb, and on the one hand, people really like being able to focus on a single character.
Yes.
And I totally get that. However, I don't mind an Orb which has a chance to give you shards for a bunch of other good characters. So like in this one, it's possible to get some duds for sure. The other rewards are still good, so it's still worth doing it for the gold and the raid credits and orange elite orbs if you can get those, all that. But in this orb, although there are some duds, it's also a way to get America Chavez, Carnage, who is farmable, but people say that it takes a while, Psylocke, Miles Morales. So there's some really top tier characters in there that it allows you to get, and it's pretty good for newer players because it gives them an opportunity to get shards for all these characters.
Yeah, for newer players, I think this is awesome. For some of the older players, I think they would have liked some of those Carnage and Psylocke type characters with a little less RNG in their favor.
No doubt.
So,
no doubt. If I get Daredevil shards, I'm like, what a waste of an orb.
I got Black Panther shards. Went right to Ultimus shards.
Well, so that's unfortunate, but I want to point out that the specialty raid before this was only Black Panther.
Yes.
So you're probably liking this better.
Yeah, and from that perspective, that's true, because now I get a chance to get some Psylocke, I get a small chance to get some Carnage, America Chavez. I definitely want to build her stars up, so...
People just think about where they're at, right? If you have a 7-star Daredevil, you're like, I don't need Daredevil stars, it's garbage. But if you're new and you're like, I'm trying to build my defenders, you're like, yeah, this is great, I get lots of Daredevil shards. So it's like different people are at different places, so...
Yeah.
Again, like, especially for Gamma 4, they could use some discretion and be like, oh, there's a Gamma 4 orb and kind of cut out some of the more common characters. But ultimately, I like that we have a chance to get, like, if I got America, I'd be happy. If I got Psylocke, I'd be happy. Carnage and Miles, I already have at 7, but if I didn't, I'd be really happy to get them. So, yeah, I like that there's a bunch of things in there that I could get. I am disappointed, not that I expected it, but I'm disappointed that there's no Captain Marvel in the Brawler Orbs, but
Yeah.
we know why. But.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair perspective. I'm probably in the former camp that would like it more focused farm, but when you look at the overall player base, there's newer players as well. I think what you're saying is very fair.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I just always ask people, because like there's nothing wrong with being like with the Black Panther raids when we had 7-star Black Panther, there's nothing wrong with being like, this sucks for me. I'm not happy about this at all. It does nothing for me. But some people just write like, this sucks. And no, make sure you just write, this sucks for me.
Yeah. And everybody I talk to and everybody in my alliance, but yeah. Whatever.
Oh, yeah,
whatever. We're one alliance and there's many thousands of alliance.
Yeah. So looking out for you guys out there, free-to-play players, newer players. Don't worry. Got you.
Cool. All right. We also got an event that launched the same time, and we talked a little bit about Rhino last week. Now that you've actually got a chance to play with him, what are your thoughts on Rhino? And then I guess we'll go into your thoughts on this event.
So Rhino, as I've been saying, like Rhino is a counter pick. That whole team, the Sinister Six team, is counter pick really, but. Yeah, Rhino is just a counter pick. He is excellent for countering Magneto. It's unbelievable. They just made this super common character that, especially right now with this event going on, anyone can get. Just the biggest middle finger to Magneto ever.
Yes.
Out of nowhere. It's mind-blowing. It's not just like oh, he kind of counters him. It's not like it's like a 75% chance to remove. No, just if you bring Rhino, Magneto can eat.
Yeah.
And that's great, because Magneto's like this legendary character, and then Rhino's like, well, he's a 15 shard unlock. What?
And no relationship with each other as far as I know, except for maybe...
No, he's wearing a suit of metal.
Very true. You mentioned that last week. It doesn't make sense, but I mean, thematically, but I'm glad gameplay-wise, that there is some kind of counter to that.
Yeah. I am glad there is a Magneto counter for people who don't have legendary characters, and I think that Magneto got a healthy amount of time dominating the arena meta, so yeah. I'm cool with this. But the big question people keep asking me is like, just how good is Rhino? Rhino on his own, he's not that good. He's not a particularly good tank. His taunt doesn't last that long. He doesn't do impressive damage. He's not impressively tanky. He is some of the highest health in the game. He might be the highest health tank in the game on a Sinister Six team specifically. But even then, he doesn't give himself defense up. So that health isn't as good as on some other tanks. Yeah. So yeah, he's just not that good. But if you see Magneto or 5 city heroes, Rhino's an excellent choice for the job. So I like that he's a niche pick. I like it.
All right, so let's talk about this event, because with this event, you get to play with the Sinister Six, or at least some of them. What are your thoughts on the Sinister Six now that you've got a chance to play with all of them at this point, or some of them at this point?
I mean, I wish I had something more interesting to say on these guys, but they're just kind of mid-tier characters at best. I'd say like lowish mid-tier, like somewhere between like the 40 to 60% range is about where they're all at. But they were designed very intentionally to hard counter city heroes, so I'm looking forward to using them to crush defenders teams in war, and I'm looking forward to having another team that I can just basically let auto fight the defenders in Blitz.
Yes. They're all over the place in Blitz. They're all over the place in Blitz. It's a Blitz team, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, yeah, they're going to be very fun and easy to use in Blitz. But yeah, other than that, they're not that crazy of a team. Like that's when you need them. When you see certain enemies, and I have it that way now. Like when I see Black Widow, I'm like, all right, where's my Doctor Strange?
Yes.
So that's going to be them. Like, oh, bunch of defenders. Hold on, where are you guys? Sinister Six, form up.
Yes, I totally agree. All right.
Beyond that.
Cool. Next thing. We're getting into the juicy stuff now, guys. Some data mines, some unintentional leaks. Let's talk about this first one, because this one was intentional. This was on the MSF Instagram, and this is a picture of a male shield medic. It reminds me of somebody. Not sure who, but...
Oh, don't do that to me.
All right, but what are your thoughts on skins?
Well, so I if I'm not mistaken, we've had like an extended talk about where the devs are on skins in the game.
Yeah, I think it was first mentioned back at San Diego Comic-Con last year, right? There was some mention of it.
They've been talking about it since the game launched. But I meant, did we have like an extended discussion on where the devs are at? I think we did.
I'm not sure if we did it on a news channel or on a news show.
Well, then I guess we'll rehash it. So,
Let's do it.
Strap in.
Woo!
So, a few things of note. Obviously, the players want skins. That's no secret here. And the devs have always wanted skins for this game. It's, every once in a while someone on Reddit will be like, hey, have you guys ever considered skins? I think it'd be really good for this game. It's like, they've known for a while. Over a year ago at San Diego Comic-Con, the lead creative director said, we want to do skins. Some characters already have skins that we made on our end. It's just a matter of finding the right way to actually implement it into the game. And so some people are taking this screenshot of male Shield Medic to suggest that there might be a skin for Shield Medic. I just think they like trolling the player base. I don't.
Well, they've obviously put some time and effort into creating this, so there's obviously a lot of man hours that went into this, right? So you think they would do that just for that, or there's actually something more behind this? Because we did see a skin of Deadpool in the game for about a month or so, right?
Yeah, for the month that they were promoting the Deadpool 2, we had X-Force Deadpool, where he was white and black. So that's one of the skins that we know exists. They've said that there's a skin for Iron Fist already done. But yeah, at the end of the day, they want to do skins. So the debate isn't, should we do skins? They want to do skins. The debate is, and this is all rumor and hearsay, but I've heard that some of the higher-ups want to make a lot of money off of skins. And I'm kind of torn on that, because on the one hand, like, that would be money coming out of my pocket. So I'm never happy when they want to make a lot of money. But if I'm going to be spending money on the game, I would rather them be making money on cosmetics than on gameplay enhancing things. Like, I'd way rather buy a skin than have to buy an item to compete. So on the
Fortnite, they make a ton of money just on cosmetic stuff, right? So
yes, well, I come from League of Legends, same thing.
Okay,
cosmetics is everything. So this is what I've been telling them, but so they have internally had plenty of discussions. I don't know how those discussions went. Obviously, I'm not a part of them, but I know that on one end, on the very extreme end, some people have thrown out the idea of having skins that cost like $50 a skin, and they I know. There's at least one person over there that wants skins to go for like $50, which I think is absolutely outrageous. I cannot fathom any skin that would justify that. However, to give it that value, they've considered like if it changed stats, if the skin actually upgraded the character. But then it becomes it's not a cosmetic thing. Now it's a performance changing thing. So I really, really, really hope they don't go that route. And if they ever ask my opinion on it, that's always going to be my answer is don't do that.
So I come from they do that in Future Fight, because I come from Future Fight. They don't just change the stats; they totally change kits of some characters, like brand new. Everything is changed on their kits with a skin. And what I didn't like about that is you had to equip that skin to get the best version of the character, even if that wasn't the look that you wanted of that character.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's
it defeats the purpose of being a cosmetic change.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, I think this is hideously ugly, but I have to use it or I'll lose this fight.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't go that route.
I totally agreement with you on that one.
Now, the opposite extreme is if they're just purely cosmetic changes, and then just for sure, while I would definitely buy purely cosmetic skins, I know some people would. If it's not gameplay informing, there's definitely a large market of people who are like, if they just change the look, like, I don't care. Don't care at all. So there would definitely be people who wouldn't be interested in skins that were purely cosmetic. My suggestion has been, have like one super cheap tier of skin that's just kind of like a palette swap. So kind of like Deadpool, where it just changes colors and nothing else. Then have like one step up from that where it changes their model. So like things could be a different shape. So like just as an example, like an Iron Fist with a jacket on. So the model would be a little different. Okay. And you could change particle effects, just the particle effects, not the animations, but the color that his fists glow would look different. Okay. That could be a mid-tier skin, and then there could be like an upper-tier skin, which would change the character model, the particles, and the animations. So like if you got like an Iron Spider skin, his stun would be like just a completely different move visually.
But exactly the same stats and everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little thing that I was thinking. Maybe what if there's a skin that changes tags of the character? So maybe makes Yondu a hero and a villain or something like that. What would you think about that?
Exactly where I was going to go next, which is that's my guess, not based on anything I've heard, but that's my guess for where we'll ultimately land with skins. That seems like the compromise between the two. Yeah. Is skins that change tags. And on the one hand, like that's not that game breaking. It's not that bad. I'd be okay with it. It's not my preference, but having an Iron Spider skin that made Spider-Man tech makes sense. Having Yondu in his classic outfit and making him a hero makes sense. I wouldn't mind that, but it would make certain skins mandatory. Like if there was a skin for Scarlet Witch that made her Brotherhood, you'd have to have that for your Brotherhood teams.
Now, you're talking the cost for the skins. I don't know, like I said, it's just, like you said, it's just hearsay at this point, but they're talking about charging for these. Are they talking real money only or cores for skins?
Oh, I have no idea. Again,
Okay.
so it's nowhere near this far along.
Okay,
Right? Last I heard, they haven't even talked about skins since like last year.
Alright.
This is whenever I've broached this topic with anyone that will talk about it, this is what I've heard. But it's definitely nothing I've heard them actively working on right this minute.
Okay.
But I would be so that's the other thing is if they do a compromise system where skins can change tags, as I would be totally fine with it if there was an in-game way to buy them for cores, so that if you absolutely needed to for competitive purposes, if you could save up enough cores to buy the ones you needed.
Yeah.
Obviously that would prevent you from buying the ones you wanted, and then you'd have to spend some cash. But
I would be
as
okay
long
with
as you
that.
could yeah.
You could make some pretty interesting teams and combos, and there could be some interesting shifts in the meta with changes to tags. And I think it'd be a good compromise if it costed cores as well, because it's kind of bragging rights, right? You get those like, I bought
people
this
could
skin.
save up.
Yeah, and free to play players could eventually get it as well. So I think that would be a good compromise for skins.
That's what I want to see. Is I'd be okay with them changing tags. I do want skins. I just don't want them to be another way to buy an advantage. I hope this game starts getting away from buying an advantage, and selling things for cores is always a way to.
This is Fox Next we're talking about, though. Come on now.
I know.
No.
But-
We have.
but-
Okay. Keep going.
Well, I
Keep
wanna
going.
put this out there. It is Fox 6. There's not much we can say. I made the mistake of being on stream, looking at my phone, and being like, "Oh, this email's really good news." And then the email we got from Cerebro, and then I messaged Cerebro like, "Hey, can we talk about this?" And Cerebro was like, "No." So can't talk about it, but I can say I'm very excited for the direction of the game.
Okay.
I found that email very encouraging. Can't go into any details. Sorry that I know this is a huge tease, but I think Valley can back me up when I say like that was just good news. That just gives me a lot of hope, right?
Oh, I gotta go check my emails. I didn't even check my emails yet, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm gonna have to go look at it right after we get done with this.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I'm curious.
Well, I think you'll like what you see. Put in a live reaction.
All right.
Pull it up on your phone.
Okay. So let me do this. All right. So. Oh, nice. I love it. Okay. So I just checked the email. Yes, I love it. I love what was said there. I can't talk about what was said. I don't know if I could even talk. I don't even know if I could talk about the email, but
nope. But you can say you love it because I already said that. So.
Okay.
Now we're in this together.
All right. You're getting me in trouble. I hope not. But
Sorry.
anyway, next big thing that got discussed. Now this was Datamined, and this was leaked in game a while ago, and you saw this in game a while ago.
Yes.
The big topic that people are talking about: mods potentially coming to Marvel Strike Force.
Yes, and let's use the proper name there. It looks like they're going to call him ISO 8.
Okay.
Which is a common thing in Marvel games.
Yes, I remember ISO 8's in Future Fight as well. So.
Yep, and in MCOC, I think it was the XP, but yeah. ISO 8 gonna power up the characters. Yeah. But yeah, so it looks like we're getting mods based on a screen that I'm sure Valley will put in the video, which shows like crafting mods. If you're unfamiliar with what mods are, essentially, it's like, imagine in addition to your character's gear inventory, imagine a separate slot where you can swap out, unlike items which you just have to build the one and put it in. This would be like 5 spots for smaller items, the mods, that you can swap in and out to add select stats. So you could have a Wolverine that you put a lot of offense mods into, you know, raises attack, raises crit chance, all that, like a full crit chance Wolverine. Or you could mod your Wolverine, like go all health. I just want a Wolverine that regens like mad, so increase to healing, increase to health, things like that. But it's a way to customize your characters.
Oh, so many interesting combos. Right when you said crit chance, Killmonger came into my head. But there's so many different characters like that have some real unique stats that could be boosted by these mods, which is exciting. But then you see the model that Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes did, and they included speed in that.
Yes.
And
so the problem with speed is if speed is an option, it's the only option.
Yeah. And
yeah, I mean, we're going to say the same thing. We've both been saying don't do speed mods, and again, we have no idea what they're planning because this is from a Datamined, but they put in some files that show, it looks like all the stats that can be modified, and I'm happy to say speed is not on there. So I don't think they're going to do speed mods, which is good.
You're reading it off to me before we started this. One interesting thing that you said was increasing the duration of their buffs and debuffs as a modifier. That's something unique, right?
I'll talk about it. So the first thing is they have a bunch of different ones for just obviously the base stats. So, giving health, giving damage, giving armor, all that. And they have them kind of filtered by like which trait. So it would be like brawler health, controller health, whatever. But then they also have them for different game modes. And they do have things, by the way, like counter % chance, block % chance, assist attack % chance, drain %, stuff like that, like heavy drain. Like it's going to be really cool if you put like heavy drain on Killmonger or something. But anyway, I'm just thinking out loud here. But so they have mode-specific ones, and again, they just created the IDs for these things, so there's no reason to believe that they'll actually put them in the game, but at least they're considering, like, raid damage, raid health, raid armor, campaign damage, campaign health, campaign resist, things like that. They have it for challenges, for Blitz, for arena, for war, so I thought all that was kind of cool, that you'd have, like, different sets of mods for different game modes, and then they have... And these I'm really excited about, like damage versus heroes, damage versus villains, resist versus heroes, stun resist versus villains, like all that stuff is really cool. And then, towards the bottom of that list, they have the duration modifiers. So like on gain defense up, increase duration by 1. On gain offense up, increase duration by 1. The only form of speed manipulation they have is speed up, increase duration. So if you got a speed up stack, it would give it an extra turn. But that's something you can already do within the game mechanics.
Yeah, and you could remove those if you get someone that could remove buffs as well.
Yeah.
So it's not that's not something that could be game breaking. But this sounds super intricate at this point, just from the preliminary information we know. Like you could get super detailed with your characters and managing your mods or managing your ISO 8, I guess. Yeah. Which
honestly, I'm reading it and just dreading, like, oh boy, if this comes to be, I'm just looking at how many more infographics and videos of people asking what are the right mods to put for each character.
That's exactly what I was getting. It's good for us because this make a bunch of content on this stuff because it sounds like it could be so intricate and so many different details and variations on this.
But so a lot of people hear this, and it's a small portion of the player base. I think most people are kind of have a wait and see attitude, which I think is the right attitude. But there's some people who look at it and they're like, oh, if they introduce mods, I'm out. I quit Galaxy Heroes for it. I'll quit this. Like some people are just so up in arms about it. And so the things that really determine how good or bad a mod system would be is assuming that there's no speed mod, which it doesn't look like there will be. It's going to have to do with how much of it is RNG and how much of it is pay to win. Those are the big things that'll really make it breaking. If it's all RNG, like Red Stars were initially, and it's super frustrating, and you have no actual control over it, that'll be bad. On the flip side, if it's like 50% RNG, 50% targeted, that'll be fine. And again, same thing with if it's something you can buy with cores, so if you really want to save up and you could focus on mods, great. If it's something that, if you spend an extra $30 a week, you can do that much better than everyone else, that would be very bad. You don't want to further increase the gap between pay to win and free to play. So we don't have the details yet.
I'm coming in that wait and see camp because I think when Stark Check was announced, everybody was expected to be bad, and I'm actually happy with how it turned out. And then you got the flip side. When Red Stars was announced, everybody thought it'd be bad, and it is as bad as we thought. Yeah, so I'm kind of wait and see what's going to happen with these mods. Well, because they have shown that they can do something that pleases the community and
I agree,
modifying stats. So,
but I want to put this out here because I'm hopeful now. I understand people call me the Fox Next apologist, Fox Next shill, whatever. But I mean, you just saw that email. I know we can't talk about it, but if nothing else, like it seems pretty clear to me that they're starting to listen to both the content creators and the community more. Not on everything, of course, but I feel like they're taking our wants into consideration more.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're doing it more and more suggests to me that they're learning, like, oh, this is working. Like, they asked for it, we give it, profits go up, player engagement goes up. Like, this is working. Why didn't we think of this? We'll just give them what they're asking for. I know, sounds crazy.
What kind of concept is that? That's weird, but
they tried. Right, they tried Monday blitzes that no one asked for, and after like a month, it seems at least, they were like, all right, that's enough of that. Whereas the giving players what they want, they seem to be sticking with. So the fact that we're seeing this ahead of time, I'm optimistic that they will value our feedback and implement this in a way that we like. And so I absolutely think mods can be a super fun, engaging part of the game and an extra layer of depth that I would really like for this game. As long as it's done right and it's not super RNG heavy and super pay to win. But they've again, especially looking at that email, they're doing a pretty good job of listening to us, at least more than they were. So if it keeps trending in that direction, I'm excited for this. But yeah, there's always the possibility that it's a disaster. So we'll see.
Totally disaster on the potential for these. So, but you got something exciting to promote. So let me let you talk about that because you get something
definitely
very, very big coming up.
Definitely. And this actually aligns with what I was just saying. So excellent segue. So I have a stream coming up that is going to be on the front page of Twitch, which is a big deal because a lot of people are going to see it. And I contacted the MSF devs and let them know a lot of people are going to be seeing Marvel Strike Force who didn't even know it exists. Let's do something special since there's going to be a bunch of fresh eyes on the game. And so I'm actually working mainly with the CM Cerebro, but we're doing some special stuff. So the tentative date is not 100%, it's like 90 to 95% locked in. We're looking at July 16th.
Nice.
And we got a few things. So all my sponsors are in for big giveaways. So like we're giving away a headset and a green screen and a bunch of other stuff. Got a bunch of power cores, iTunes and Google Play codes to give away. Cerebro said he's pretty sure he'll have swag bags to give away, which will have like Marvel Strike Force comics and posters and stuff, which is really cool. But the big one is, and I'm seeing if he can do some in-game giveaways, but you know, we haven't established whether or not that can be done, so I don't want to promise that. But the big one here is there's going to be a live Q&A session with the community manager.
That sounds awesome. I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Well, so I took it a step further. There's a channel in my Discord called CM Live Q&A. My mods put it on slow mode. You can only submit one message every 6 hours as an individual. So word your questions carefully and read the little tidbit I put at the top. But if I'm going to be picking the questions submitted by the viewers. So if you have a question that you want answered by the CM, go in that channel. Again, it's on my Discord, discord.gg/Khasino, and submit the question. There's a way in my Discord for people to upvote it, so I'll see what the popular questions are, and I'll be handpicking them. But yeah, you guys can ask some questions to CM, and we'll get some answers in real time. And again, tentatively, that is going to be on July 16th. Don't have a time of day on that yet.
Well, I guess they got to tune into your Twitch live stream every day to see the latest updates, see when the exact time is going to be, right?
Yeah, if you're just hanging out on my Discord, I'll be telling everybody. So I'll be doing my best to keep people moved.
Cool. Well, once again, thank you for joining me for the news. Even going out of town, we kept the streak going. We are going strong with this weekly news update, and the videos are doing well. I'm glad you guys like them. So there's more of these coming along with a lot of other content. And if you like this and the other content, subscribe to the channel, smash on the like button, join the notification squad. Valley merch is down below. So is a link for BlueStacks, Patreon. I will see you next time. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out.